Huxtables! Welcome to part 2 of my hair sewing 101 courses. So in this video I'm going to talk about the how. So how to care for sew-ins. So I attribute sew-ins for definitely catapulting my hair growth journey and my hair length journey. And part of the beauty and reason for that is I believe, and in my personal experiences, sew-ins have helped me to retain length tremendously. So I'm going to walk you through the hows, all the how-tos of how sew-ins worked for me and how I use them. So tip number 1, definitely what you want to always do, and what I always did, is I never braided the edges of my hair up. I always left my edges out. And I highly recommend, and especially for me, I talk about it in part 1, in my family, genetically, like we have like this area here, I don't know if you can kind of see that the hair is very like short and sparse. This area of the hair does not really grow in fully and has the tendency to really thin out. Even my male cousins as well have this same thing. And so in my edges area, I try to be as tender and gentle with this area as possible. So I always left my edges out. I know some ladies like to braid all of this up just so that they don't have to worry about this hair being out or being a different texture, and it sometimes can just be easier when you want the weave to just lay straight. But I firmly believe even if you leave it out and you just make a loose braid that you tuck behind your ear or something, I firmly believe in leaving all of the edges out. I also believe I would leave a horseshoe, which is normally taking this top layer of hair here around the part and leaving that out and then braiding all the rest of the hair. I did try initially to leave the back of my hair, some of it out, so I could wear my hair up in a ponytail. However, as my hair began to grow longer, I really was unable to find a stylist, or maybe it just wasn't possible, I'm not sure, who could make my braids small enough so that my hair didn't have lumps. And for all my ladies out there that rock weaves and know about sew-ins, you understand the lumps and humps. Like, I want to be able to wear my hair up in a ponytail or a bun and not have it clearly be like lumpy or like look like I have a sew-in because the braids are so big and bulky. And as my hair got increasingly longer, it just became virtually impossible, so I would just never wear it up. And it became really annoying to have the back of my hair out, which is, in most women, we call it the kitchen, the area that's the curl pattern is the tightest. It became annoying to have that out. So for the most part, I did end up braiding all of my hair in the back up. But once again, like I said about my front area, if this is a problem area for you and you know that those hairs are very tender and gentle, you might just want to try leaving that hair out and being sure that you oil it and moisturize it every day, maybe taking coconut oil or olive oil, and just make one big braid. And although it'll look kind of cray-cray, hopefully it'll be covered by the track so no one will see it, only you will know. And then you can just wrap it around and make a little bun and tuck it in, or tuck that hair in, and don't put too much pressure or tension on it with braids because nobody will see it. So it's important to find a stylist, and if you live in Philly, which is where I got most of my sew-ins done, I can message you where I went. But it's important to find a stylist that understands that you're getting sew-ins in order to help retain length, in order to help you in reaching your hair goals. Because some stylists will do sew-ins and they don't care about maintaining your real hair or making sure your real hair is healthy. They don't care. They just want it to look good that day and look good for the sake of you wearing a sew-in. They don't. Same even sometimes with braiders. Like, the braids will look really, really great, but it's like you braided this way too tight, and the tension that this is going to place on my real hair, it's going to break off. So the hairstyle is going to look good, but then when it comes time to take these out, I won't have any length retention. I'll actually have damaged or broken off my hair to get this style when I'm trying to use the style as a protective style. So that's a very important point I want to make as well. Like, try to find a stylist or someone in your family or a friend. Like, make sure that you're on the same page in terms of how you're using the hairstyle, because you don't want it to come out really great and look great for the install period in the 2 months that you had it, and then you take it out and you haven't retained any length. You've actually regressed because you've suffered from hair breakage. So that's a good point as well. But that's how I got the hair done. Now, different times, depending on different girls that sometimes would braid it, I would do like the circular braids. Sometimes they would all be going back. It just really depended. And like I said, as my hair started to grow longer, it became really, really annoying getting it done because people would constantly complain about how long it was. They felt inconvenienced, or you'd have to part really, really closely together because I had so much hair in order to not make the braids so bulky, and then yet the braids would still be bulky and I would be really disappointed, but I just gave up because I would have been there for hours. So that's what I did in terms of the braiding. So for hair, I knew that I wanted to wear sew-ins for a very prolonged period of time. I knew at least 1 to 2 years, which is what I ended up doing, close to like maybe a little over 2 years. So rather than keep buying lower quality, cheaper hair and having to keep getting it every time I wanted an install, I just saved and invested in high quality Indian hair. And the reason for that is because if you invest in high quality hair, it will last you years, and you will be able to wash, style it, put heat on it, wear it in wash and goes, do all types of things, and the quality of the hair won't start to just kind of fall apart. So it just kind of depends on your financial decision and how long term you plan on wearing sew-ins. If you want to just pay maybe $80 every few months to get new packs of hair, that's an option, but I just invested in high quality hair. So I got my hair from indianhaircompany.com. If you look at my hair journey video, you can see images of me wearing the hair. They only sell hair that's straight, wavy, and curly. They only sell 3 hair types, and then they sell them in length increments. So it'll be like a 20 to 22 inch bundle, a 23 to 26 inch bundle. And I got the longest length of hair, and I got the curly hair. Reason being, I knew sometimes I wanted to wear my hair like wavy or curly, and I wanted to be able to do wash and go styles, and also because I wanted the hair to be long. Now when you get curly hair and you get long hair, and I don't have my hair anymore, I don't even know where it is, but on the weft, the longer the hair is and the curlier the hair is, the less hair is on each track. So I think that I ended up over time like getting close to 3 bundles, because 2 bundles, which is what I would typically get for lower quality hair, would normally be enough to do my whole head, but I almost needed like 3 packs or 3 bundles when you get the hair long and curly, because there's not enough hair and it can be thin. So that's another tip. You can message me if you're confused or you need more information, but for those of you out there that have probably worn weaves before or bought hair, you'll understand what I'm saying in terms of if you want the hair to be full, then you probably need more hair to have more tracks if you're getting longer hair and curly hair. So bought it from indianhaircompany.com. The last time I bought hair from them was literally probably 4 years ago, so I can't attest to the current, it's a good company, but I can't attest to the current quality. I'm not sponsored or being paid for this, so I don't know. I haven't bought hair recently, but that's the process I used, and that's the company that I used when I did. I feel like there's a few YouTubers that are sponsored by them that do have commercials like on their website and in their videos as well, if you want to do further research. But that's who I used. I get a lot of questions about maintenance of the hair. So I'm going to be completely honest and transparent with you. I did not take the best care of my hair while in sew-ins, and luckily I didn't suffer any significant damage or problems as a result. But I did not do a great job. I got really super lazy. So don't do that. But some of my tips for hair care. First off, when you're getting your sew-in taken out, unfortunately I didn't have any friends in the Philadelphia area that I could have take my hair out. If I knew I was going home for like Christmas or a holiday, I would have my sisters cut it out, because I don't recommend, and I never cut my sew-ins out myself. One of my sisters can actually do that, and she does a good job. I don't trust myself, and I find it like way too difficult and nerve-wracking, so I don't. But I always recommend going to the stylist or having a friend or someone cut the hair out for you. And I have, oh, do I have them out? One second, I'll get you these little scissors. Okay, I wanted to show you guys for cutting the sew-ins out. I use these little scissors, which sometimes you can find in the nail section or like the eyebrow section. Sometimes people use them to trim their eyebrows, or I'm not sure what they're used for in terms of nails, but they're normally in that section. So they're little and they're like curved like that, and it really helps to get in under the braid rather than use like big industrial size kitchen scissors or like school supply scissors. I like these because they help to get really close to the string of the sew-in, and if you're having people that aren't in hair care do your hair, it can help them to be able to not cut your real hair. It gets a better precision with the tip like that. So that's what I use to cut the sew-ins out, and like I said, I always had it pretty much professionally done. Once again, in terms of sew-in removal, Now, the braid, when you get your braid done, the braid is going to be sitting very close to your scalp, right? Like on top. As the hair grows out, so let's say you wear your sew-in for a month to 2 months, when it comes time to take the sew-in out, you'll have maybe, let's say, a ½ an inch of growth. That's how much growth you've had, new growth, since the braid was first installed. So at the point where the new growth meets the braid, you have to be very careful when you are detangling, because this is a prime place for tangles and mats and breakage, because that new growth is now resting on the braid and hair that's been braided for months. So your hair hasn't been able to naturally shed. The hairs that you would just naturally lose every day are still impacted in there. So you're going to have to gently detangle. And that's another thing. Either pay to have your stylist do it or really dedicate like a whole day to get your detanglers. I took you guys' advice and I tried the Talia Wajid, the Great Detangler, and I'll do a review on that soon. But invest, I love kinky curly knot today. Invest in a great detangler so that you can slowly work through that. And you're going to have a lot of hair come out because you've been having your hair braided for a month or months. So your daily amount that you'll be shedding every day is going to come out all in that one time. So you have to, don't be overwhelmed because you're going to have a lot of hair come out. But at the same time, you have to really gently detangle. I'll talk about this in my cons video because I've seen so many women that do not take their time, are not gentle, like apply shampoo on the hair before detangling it, and their hair, it is tragic. Like, it will just fall out. Like, it'll get so matted and tangled that there's really nothing you can do. So please understand, when it comes time to take your sew-in out, it's a critical time because that new growth that I pointed out, that's your length and that's what you need to retain. It's not so much down here, it's this that's growing from your root, from the soil. That's what I call the scalp. So you need to be able to make sure that you're taking care of that and keeping that, and that you're keeping all of the length that's been in braids. So you have to be sure that you're gently detangling and working through that. I cannot stress that enough, because you will be really sad when not only are you not retaining length to get the length, but you're losing length because your hair is breaking off or it's gotten tangled and matted. And I've seen YouTube videos with people that are like, so upset that they kept their sew-in in for so long or did such and such, and then the hair all broke off. So that's critical. Leading me to my next point. I do not recommend keeping a sew-in in any longer than 2.5 months. Really, 2 months would be ideal. I've done it before, don't recommend it. My hair came near to being locked in the back. Like, literally, it took forever to get it out, and that was because I just didn't have time, or I once again got lazy or didn't have the energy to go in and get my hair done. Do not keep your sew-in in for longer than 2.5 months. 2 months is ideal. You want to leave it in long enough that you're getting new growth and that you can see that retention, but at the same time, just as I explained, you do not want to have it get so matted and tangled that when it comes time to take it out, I mean, think about that. You have new growth, a braid, and hair that's been in braids for months. So you do not want that, all of that going on to create breakage or tension or just a matted kind of lock state in which you're not being able to get the length that you want. So people ask me all the time how long I kept my sew-ins in for, and I recommend 2 months. Some people can't keep their sew-ins in that long enough. It annoys them and they get tired of it. So 1 month, I mean, it's up to you, but you definitely want to be able to give the hair a rest from manipulation, from heat exposure, allow it to sit in the braids, absorb the natural oils from the scalp, etc. And at the same time, not leave it in so long that it could lead to perhaps breakage. So another tip for hair in the braids. For people that have naturally straight hair, for racial or ethnic groups, people that have naturally straight hair, the sebum, or the natural oil that your hair produces, is able to glide down the hair shaft a lot easier because the hair strand is straight. If you watch my videos where I talk about henna, I say I recommend like blow drying your hair so that you can have an easier application of the henna paste. When I use Lush henna, just to explain that as well. You can have an easier application because the hair is straight, whereas when your hair is coiled, it's very difficult for any type of oil or product or anything to travel and get all of the complexities of that coil and reach all the way to the end of the hair shaft. So a lot of times your natural hair, once it gets long, and especially because it's curly, it's difficult for the natural oils that your scalp produces, which is kind of like the go-go juice. I don't know, it's the juice and nourishment, for that to continue to travel all the way down the shaft. So the cool thing about braids is that you're putting the majority of your hair as close to the scalp as possible. So it's getting those natural oils, and also you have the opportunity to apply a lot of oils to the scalp that will sit on top of the braids and moisturize into the braids and keep the hair moisturized and protected. Yeah, moisturized and protected. So one of my neat little tricks, and I think I talked about it in my oils video, is having a dropper. And this poor dropper has been through so much. It is so bootleg right now. It looks a hot mess, but you get the idea. So a lot of people asked me about this in that video. This is Dr. Miracle's Follicle Healer Hydrating Oil. So Dr. Miracle's Follicle Healer Energizing System Hydrating Oil. I will say this has a very strong scent. Like a lot of Dr. Miracle Grows products, actually, they tend to have a very strong herbal scent, and it can be overwhelming and not necessarily like fragrant or floral or feminine. So I will say that. But this has a lot of great ingredients in it. I think a tea tree, jojoba, castor oil, shea butter. It has a lot of really great ingredients, and I loved it because it came in the dropper. So like I said, the dropper is kind of messed up, but just like typical medicine droppers or droppers that you can get in a pharmacy, you can take the dropper and then you can separate. It just totally fell apart. You can separate your braids and drop the dropper down into your braids, which allows you to administer the oil down in between the parts and allows the oil to drip down in between the braids. So if you don't want this one, you can even get at Whole Foods. I know they sell them in all over the place. You can order it on Amazon. I'm sure probably as low as a couple bucks. But get a dropper. And then you can take your coconut oil, you can take your jojoba oil, and you can just melt it down, make a little mixture, put it in your dropper, and then you can take your dropper and apply that in between the braids. And I definitely recommend that. And that way you can make your own little home concoctions, or if there's a certain type of, like a lot of people love Jamaican black castor oil, which can tend to be a little bit thick, but you could water it down a bit with jojoba oil or a more fluent loose oil, almond oil, and then apply that in between the scalp. And it's just great because it's giving your hair every day a little oil bath and a little nutrient bath. And because your hair is braided, you don't have to worry about it being out, which is another great benefit of the sew-in, or even two-strand twist braids, whatever. You can be applying that to your scalp every day and applying that to the hair that you currently have, which is awesome. So what else? I hope I didn't forget anything. I think that was all that I wanted to mention or say for this particular video. So if you still have questions about the how-to process for sew-ins, please comment below or send me a message and I'll try to respond. I just got so many questions about different aspects of this that I wanted to make a video, and because a lot of you asked me and said that I do believe, and I have stated, that a lot of my hair growth from the start I attribute to my sew-ins. When I finally got my sew-ins taken, when I stopped getting them, I would say my hair was maybe to here or so, maybe a little bit longer than armpit length, and now it's definitely like waist length. That's significantly past that. But I definitely do believe that sew-ins gave me that kind of jump start to get a length that I really liked, and then I worked from there in terms of incorporating vitamins and other steps to maintain that length and continue to have my hair grow. So I do not get sew-ins any longer because my significant other does not like them, and also because my hair is just way too long now. It would take forever to do the braids, and like I said, they'll probably be too... I tried to get one last summer because I went to overseas and I didn't want to have to deal with my hair, and the braids were just so big and lumpy. It was kind of uncomfortable and difficult to wear my hair up, and it starts to look really fake. I like a very clean, sophisticated, natural looking sew-in where it looks completely real, and I have so much hair now it's just impossible. It looks very bulky and it just wasn't a good look. So I don't get them anymore because it's just impossible. But I do miss them. I think I bordered on being addicted at one point. So yeah, but I don't get them anymore. And like I said, you can go back to my hair journey video to see pictures of me with my sew-ins. If you have any more questions, I'm more than willing to answer them and still continue to help. I just thought it'd be nice to make a video for everybody out there that wears sew-ins or is interested in or had asked me these questions previously. So please subscribe if you like what you see. As always, stay in touch, contact, comment, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.